I'm not predicting we're going to start something in Middleburg. That's impossible, right? Just trying to cover. I can see Brad and Steve and our next elders meeting next week. Brad, you told a story that we're not sure we're going to do. Those kinds of God things. I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't want that, if you don't want to be a part of that kind of life, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to preach messages week after week after week and do church week after week and just all of us go back into just trying to get through life just for ourselves. I mean, that's just a church. That's just... I want to be a part of making a difference in history. That's what Erwin's talking about. I want to see what God's doing in the world, and I want us to be a part of it. And I want us to be in awe of a powerful God who loves broken people. And we get to be a part of that plan. Maybe for you it's just one person this year. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like for you, but it begins when you are willing to say, yeah, we've got a bad economy and my job is up in the air and I'm trying to figure out how to parent, but in all of that, I also want to be part of what God's doing. And then watch and see how He addresses those areas of your life in redemptive ways. Okay. Jesus, at the end of this chapter, I'm not going to take the time to go through it, encourage you to read it. He in a very clever way, turns the story now to the Pharisees and says, you guys don't understand. You were supposed to be the ones inviting. He tells another story of another feast. And the servant who goes out, the host who is God, sends out the servant, go, compel those out of the world to come in. He's telling the Pharisees, you were supposed to be the ones doing the inviting. In your arrogance, you've missed it. In your self-serving attitude, you've missed it. And so now I'm telling you, actually, you're the broken people, he tells the Pharisees. You're the ones that I'm now trying to invite. And in this story, he says, but you have nothing but excuses. One of you says to the feast, oh, I've just bought some cows. I've got to go tend to the cows. Another one, oh, I just got married. I can't come to the feast. I'm so sorry. And he lists all these excuses. And he's telling the Pharisees, you're blind. You don't understand that you're the broken. You're being invited, and you're letting all your own selfish needs get in the way of actually sitting at the table. And so he goes on to say, but the servant continues to go out and compel the lame and the broken to come in. He compels them to come in. And the servant comes back after doing this and saying, Master, there's still room at the table. And Jesus is saying there's always room. There's always room for one more. The table never fills. And so at Dulles, we use the word compel in our purpose statement, in our objective. When we talk about our objective at Dulles 101 next weekend, I'll be teaching. If you want to come join me to hear really about the heart and soul of our church, you'll hear me talk about the word compel. It's from this text. In chapter 14, verse 23, then the master told his servant, so go back out to the roads and country lanes and compel them to come in so that my house may be full. Last thing I'm going to say this morning, and then we're going to just praise our God here one more time before we leave. Early in our church, I don't remember which year, it was one of the first few years of our church. We were very, very small, and our core met. And we were just talking about Easter plans. And I'm sure you know, Easter is the most attended service for almost every church, certainly for ours. We'll have 600 or 700 people, if not more, in this room in just a few weeks on Easter. America, it's staggering, the statistic of how many Americans want to be in church. It's in the 90%, it's like 93% want to be in church on Easter Sunday. And some of that's for guilt and just religious reasons, but we have a great opportunity throughout the year, but especially at Easter. Anyway, we're talking about Easter, our Easter plans. And the question came up, well, and we were in a much smaller venue back then. What happens, Brad, if we just are surprised on Easter Sunday and we run out of seats? And I remember saying, Just the first thing I said to this group of 10 leaders and core people here at Dulles. I said, well, then you in this room, get up and give up your seat. And I don't know who, I want to say it was Amy. I think it might have been Amy. That's how I remember it. Somebody said, well, what do we do then? Like, what if the room is too full? I said, then go home. Leave. I want the core of Dulles community to give up your seat with a smile and leave before Easter service even starts. And I said, and I don't want you to leave thinking you're missing Easter, that you've left the table, the feast. I want you to leave smiling, having the best Easter you've ever had, because you are closer to the head of the table than you've ever been. And all that night, we just agreed, yeah, if that happens, yes. What better way to spend Easter than to miss it? Than to miss it because we gave up our seat for somebody who's lost their way or who is searching. And I remember saying, don't you understand, you're not missing it. You're invited by the host closest to the head of the table. And we just left that discussion owning something special. And you know that has not happened. We've had very full Easter mornings, but that's never happened yet. I believe someday that's going to happen. Whether it's in this room or somewhere else, I believe it's going to happen. And I want you to own that with me. I don't want that to just be 10 or 15 leaders who agree. I want you to own that with me. And on Sunday mornings, we're here to serve others around us. You're here to feel encouraged by God, but so is the person next to you. And maybe God wants to speak life or encouragement through you. I want us sitting in a way here, I'm not saying shoulder to shoulder, but I want us sitting in a way where we're here not to worship God alone, but we know there are people around us. And God may want me to encourage or just reach out to somebody or welcome somebody. God may want me to have coffee. I'm busy. Man, I'm trying to figure my kids are stressed. But I want to be engaged with God, so I want to be a part of His work. I really believe it's often how God works in our own crisis, our own need. We've completed 10 years, and the elders and I are just